Welcome back for this Komodo platform Thursday town hall. Today's January 7th of 2021 and the fireworks continue. Things are blasting off. There's a lot of excitement and some might even say chaos. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining this live stream. I'm ejuliano, by the way, with Delton and Jay Charming and Audo for
Right.
Komodo platform here.
Howdy.
How's it going?
So we're going to be sharing Komodo in the Komodo news. Delton's going to be sharing some information with that. And then we're going to talk about a,
Yeah,
a tag
sure.
archive system. And then we hear from Audo with a pitch deck. After that, we'll answer some questions, get some questions answered. And then there will be a hangout on Discord. Join us every Thursday here, Komodo platform. So first, let's take it away with Delton here. And what's happening, Komodo in the news, Delton?
Yeah, so we have several new blog posts this week and then also a lot of good media mentions. The first blog post of 2021 is Explore Komodo and Discover Your Blockchain Path. So this blog post previews the upcoming website. It kind of talks about like how we're going to make Komodo more accessible to developers, to businesses, to community members. And this blog post also contains the last 4 seed words in the KMD treasure chest. And someone actually read this blog post, found the seed words, and of course read the previous blog post that contained seed words. And yeah, that person drained the KMD treasure chest in, I think it was 8 minutes. So it's really impressive.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and we're going to be running more crypto puzzles like this in the future. So I'm really excited about that. And the next blog post is
Yeah.
about Dash and Zcash and how they're going to be still listed like on the protocol underpinning AtomicDEX. And it's just talking about some recent delistings and like the reason why we need decentralized exchanges and decentralized protocols.
Good.
And
Get
this
that
is
word
part
out
of
there for
Komodo
sure.
Insights. Yep, and we also have another blog post about KMD rewards, a UI bounty campaign. So actually, someone who presents this can earn 1,500 KMD. And this blog post contains all the details that you need to know about how you can create visuals for the KMD reward transactions. And now we're going to look at media mentions. So the first media mention is in a blog post or an article about the FCA ban on crypto derivatives. So this is dealing with like regulations in the UK. And Jason from Komodo gave a quote about this, basically talking about how there was like no coordination with other jurisdictions around the globe when this law was passed, and kind of how it's kind of a blow for blockchain innovation. So this is actually in Decrypt as well as Finance Magnates. So really excited about that.
Good stuff. Good job, Jason.
And we have another quote from Jason as well about how Bitcoin is settling more value than Ethereum, and like some of the reasons why that might be the case. So, for instance, the institutional adoption of Bitcoin is really going up in recent months, maybe even more so compared to Ethereum. And also because Ethereum gas fees are quite high at the moment, so like maybe that's like a reason why people are making fewer transactions on the blockchain, at least on layer one, of course. And yeah, that's all for Komodo in the news.
All right. Thanks, Delton. That's definitely some news to dig into, and a lot of money moving around. Ethereum gas super high. Komodo is in a good position relating to that in terms of vendor lock-in and gas fees and such, and layer solutions. So that's
for
great.
sure.
Yeah. Looking forward to what's to come. Being able to call out Dash and Zcash in relation to the listing is nice. It's important, and in terms of interoperability and camaraderie and connection and network through the cryptocurrency space industry. That's
Ooh,
really
yeah.
big.
When we reached out about that article, we actually got a really strong response from the Dash community on Reddit, like pretty immediately, and it's led to a conversation about having Dash community come do a swap competition event sometime this year. That's was a super
Amazing.
exciting takeaway.
Yeah, that's exciting. Great. Good news. Okay, well, moving forward then, there's even more in that news. So check it all out for yourselves. And we're going to move along here. We're going to just hear about this Ghost CMS tag archive system. So Jay Charming and Delton.
Yeah, so the with the setup of the new website and us figuring out the new pathing and quality of life for our audiences and how to explain Komodo better, there's been a revamp of the blog structure, and we're using Ghost CMS, which is a pretty independent structure, so we're not so tied into like WordPress and a lot of things that are less privacy oriented, basically. And as a result, with Ghost CMS integration, we're able to start looking at better ways of organizing and sharing our content in both series and sets. So it's not just like a big cluster of a mess. So this is like one of the things that's going on in the background. One of the many handful of things that's going on in the background, like from week to week here with here in the marketing side. I think Delton kind of wanted to show off a little bit about the tag archive system and give some brief explanations over like series and set and kind of what to expect in general. And I'll hand it over.
Thanks. Yeah. So like we're trying to find like the best series and sets like we can cover in terms of Komodo blog. So like these are some of the main tags like we were finding. So you can see at the top here is AtomicDEX, Blockchain Fundamentals, Komodo Workshop, Crypto Puzzles, and currently Q4 2020 KMD Treasure Chest appears, but pretty soon that's going to be replaced, I think, with the Komodo Insights. So like the blog post, like the one that covered Dash and Zcash listing.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
basically, each of these is like a main like series, a recurring series. So for instance, like we're going to be covering a lot about AtomicDEX. We're going to continue having a lot of cool things in the Komodo workshop, talking about all the cool technology being developed. And then for instance, like if you click on AtomicDEX as a tag, you'll find a lot of different blog posts related to that tag. And there's going to be some overlap in the tags too. So we'll have sets within that. So for instance, we have a lot of different blog posts about the stress test that took place in December. So that would be like a set within AtomicDEX, the series of AtomicDEX.
Nice integration.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and
So-
the conversation that's
Sorry, go ahead.
happened here, yeah, just a shout out to the community here, or at least a pitch out. There's a conversation that's been happening in our workshop here in Discord within the community, asking for, with the seeking of us getting back to roots, can we start making things like more public? Like, can we start getting like wider community input and feedback and stuff like that? So I know that Audo, this is something that's been on Auto's vision board that he wants to get more to as well. And hearing that call out from the community, this is, if you're seeing anything here that you like, or that you don't like, or that you're interested in, that you want to talk about, I know that I'm going to be spending more time like monitoring Talk General and trying to be in conversations there. So if you think of like some sets that you'd like to see like content kind of push out, like drop us some suggestions. Like we're here to like work with, like bring in ideas, absorb feedback, change what we can. Like we've got many things on our plate and many things that we all have to satisfy. So this is like, if you come to the Thursday town halls and you see something, you watch something, like this is one of those like marketing moments where it's like, yeah, like this is directly where you can get plugged in and like get some response from us to both get questions answered and to be part of this like affecting change.
I also want to note that as you're seeing from the stream, we have begun to translate some of the blog posts to other languages. So we are already covering Russia and Spanish, and everything is being translated. And we might already have also, or we will be adding very soon all the many other languages that you can already see here. So just be sure to check out those if you're Russian, then you can read with your native language.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear too. English is so common, but at the same time, the more the word spreads, the better. Access to information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Is that about it for the Ghost CMS tag archive system and related views?
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks. Alrighty then. So we're going to move on now. We're going to talk about, we're going to hear from Audo, in fact, with a Komodo pitch here. Audo, why don't you take it away?
Yep. All right. So we have a pitch deck prepared that we made actually. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Business team requested that we need the pitch deck. So this is made for them. So here we just kind of run through this as we have this new content available. So why don't we just showcase it? And this is still with the kind of the old branding, and as we have said, we are bringing the new website online at the end of this month. So we're working on the new website, and that brings some sort of visual upgrade also. So in the coming months, like we are looking to upgrade this pitch deck, but here we already will showcase you the first version that we worked early this year. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the very first slide here was where we're describing and using like this is the language we'll be using in this year where we talk about like what is Komodo, and we are gonna define Komodo as an open source solutions provider. So we are working on open source technology, and then other businesses and projects can come and use that, and we are providing all those tools and solutions, and in some cases we are also building custom solutions and working with businesses to meet their needs when they are looking to get into blockchain, and we are in a excellent position to do this as we are very old project. Our team has tons of know-how, like we have very talented dev team and business team and so forth. And then the other aspect of what we'll be talking about is the concept of a technology workshop. We will be saying that how Komodo is like a workshop, so you can come in and play with the open source technology, you can fork it, you can modify it, and then maybe you come up with your own product that comes out of the workshop. And as an example, we could highlight the numerous ecosystem projects that has come from Komodo. And then also there's a lot of code and a lot of innovation that has been happening in the past years. And with that, of course, like our founder, James JL777, has been leading the way, like year after year or even month after month, just coming with new concepts of what could be done with blockchain. So this kind of plays to the new concept we came up with this workshop. And then from the Komodo's perspective, or like from our team perspective, then there are a few of these innovations that are played with the workshop that then we kind of put more effort and sweat to, so that they become more polished products that we put out there to the industry. And one of them and a lead product is of course the AtomicDEX product. So that is kind of the most mature of them all at this moment, and that is what we will be mostly talking this year. And then this next slide kind of goes over what is it we offer. So kind of we offer end-to-end consulting. So it's not only that we are just developers and we just provide you a bunch of code and libraries and tools, but we also, a lot of the time, especially the business team uses when they talk with businesses and people who contact us, like we just provide consulting, like do you need a blockchain in the first place, and how could you use the blockchain technology? So our team has a lot of insight there. And not only like we just provide like all-in-one solutions, and that's really the vision. And we are trying to write the code so it's easy to understand, easy to reuse, and efficient. And we are trying to make it as secure as possible. And especially the AtomicDEX product, as our dev team is like very hyped up about it. Like it's high resource stage, it's extremely like mature, and it's really like getting out there, and it's in a good state, even though it's still in beta. But like we are pretty comfortable or confident about the whole code base and how robust the technology is. And then we could also say that
Very
we are
stable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we could also say that we are an educational workshop, and this is one trend that especially our marketing team will be focusing on this year, the educational aspect. Like we want to be the educators of the blockchain. Next slide, here's to highlight the AtomicDEX. Like this is the app, like a reference app that we built on top of our platform. So with Komodo technology, you can build this type of applications. And that is how, like this is what we really use to get other developers and businesses to use our technology. Then one thing we will be talking and revealing is something called the Komodo like Atomic DeFi engine. And it hasn't really been talked about yet in detail. And this is something we really are looking to get into this year. Like, even within our community, people usually just understand AtomicDEX as the app and just refer to us like Komodo DEX, but it's actually so much more than that. It's the real innovation and the real product we have is not the GUI itself, it's underlying protocol or the engine, and that is that provide that kind of cross protocol bridge to other protocols, bridging everything together, and that you're able to build like DeFi apps and then build your own DEX. Like you could connect to the same liquidity pool as we have, and then different exchanges and wallets could be sharing the liquidity. And that's really like the power of the network. So it's not limited to a single ecosystem like many other DEXs. And then on the side is that we provide like white label solutions. So we will be offering like white label DEX, white label wallet. That is the vision we are moving towards. And then in next slide, we are listing some of our current partners, and our business team has been very busy reaching out to more and more projects, and they are continuously talking with many parties. So hopefully we have many more partners here to show during this year and more announcements to make. Then we go over the history, like just the dots here. Like we have a very long history, rooting it back to 2014 in the early days, and then of course 2016 when the Kono platform was founded, and in its current capacity we are in at least over 30 team members, and we have a really like grown and talented team. Then we have something to say here about the events and kind of what's coming this year. So current schedule at the end of March, we have a one-day event coming up. And this is used to kind of a live stream event. We will have a topic to go over, and we will release more info about that when we have that ready. Then we are going to be having more internship program. We expect the first one to start in March. We will be announcing more details later. Then of course there's the node elections coming this year as well. And then at the second half, at the end of this half in June, we will have a bigger conference, multi-day event, like Komodo or AtomicDEX summer conference. And we are really looking forward to this one. We are looking to make it better than the stress test event was. We are hoping to like partner with media. We have partnered with our PR agency to make it a success. We are already planning ahead to this day, although it's like 6 months from now, but we are already planning it and preparing, and we are also hopefully find other projects like just on like an AtomicSwap event to join us and collaborate with us on the conference, and then hopefully other speakers. And if you guys have any research, like who should be on the conference or what you would like to hear, what kind of topics should we cover, then that's all the type of info we are really keen to listen to. So please just share on the Discord channels like your thoughts and what you would like to see. So that was that pitch deck. And I'm gonna give the microphone to JC in case JC you have something to plug in here, like, regarding some of these slides.
Actually, I think you killed it. There's I really like the conversations that we've been having with PR and media relations, and then among the team that you've been leading with like a visioned idea of how can we talk about Komodo, how can we make it more understandable, how can we make it more digestible. And a pitch deck like this is like a distilled down version of a couple of those conversations that then lets us build some like operational content off of that and then distribute it into some programs and things of that nature. So I don't really have anything too much with that. I do want to mention that we're really aggressively going after some SEO quality. So these kind of keywords and the things that people are seeing in this pitch deck, like this is consistency that we're going to be looking forward to during the first half of 2021. And then we're going to stay pretty agile as a group in the media as far as the marketing department is concerned. And we're going to be re-engaging in these conversations every day for sure, like just as part of like our group, also quarterly and halfly, so that we can like readjust, rearrange, and reorient to stay plugged into the pulse more and actually be topical. This is a huge goal like here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we will hand it back to Ejuliano.
Alrighty. Well, that's a very nice amount of information there for sure. We're going to move along then. it's time for some questions to be answered. You ask your questions in the chat, the Thursday Town Hall chat, and they'll be answered here. And then after that, there will be a live hangout in the Discord to continue that chat. But for now, here we go with some questions. The first question is from Jesus12 or Jesus12. When will ADEX 0.4.0 released? It was originally planned for end Q4 of 2020, right? Thank you.
Yeah, so the stress test, the AtomicDEX stress test that happened December 12th and 13th significantly changed a lot of the game for us. We got so much more information than was expected, and as a result, the dev team decided to spend more time wrapping the 0.4.0 just to basically take what was derived and harden it further. So it's why do a strong release when we can do a fantastic release? And if all it's going to cost us is pushing it back a little bit longer. So the answer to the question there is January 31st. That's when 0.4.0 is going to land. And we're going to be making that public announcement in a blog post on the 11th. But you've heard it here first if you're attached to the stream.
Yeah, and to add to that, on the same day, we will be also at the same time launching the new website and everything. So there will be that big update coming.
I see what you've done there. Very good. Okay. Well, unless there's something else to mention about that, we'll move to question 2. All right. So for question 2 is from Ryan Knox. Ryan Knox, I get to butcher names, I guess, is part of this. Maybe
Thanks,
this
MC.
maybe this has been answered before, but do we have any estimate, hopeful date for the full release of AtomicDEX? Thanks for your comprehensive response. This was into response to another one response. Following on from my question, I'd also like to ask, what are the current obstacles to achieve a full release?
So I dropped into a conversation with the dev team on this, because we're always trying to figure out for the future too. And full release is a complicated term, right? Because the AtomicDEX and any product that's built, especially in our sector, but also this project, is going to be in progressive stages of development for a very long time. That's just the nature of the beast. So what I'm going to try to answer instead is when are we moving out of beta with AtomicDEX? Because I'm suspecting that that's kind of the question that's being asked. And I know that on the vision boards right now that AtomicDEX leaves beta by the end of 2021. And it becomes just the full, just full non-beta, like project in that sense. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be operating in a system of eras where we're not making as many promises about when a patch update or when something is landing, because we've been guided through kind of the past information of what's happened here in Komodo the past couple of years. What promises have we made in the audience, and it's basically haven't been able to keep very many direct promises for date drops on things. So we're pivoting towards a system where we're saying we're in the 0.4.0 era until we're basically out, and we're going to give plugged times for when we're expecting to be leaving that era. And then there's just going to be progressive updates that hit throughout that time. And that gives us a lot more flexibility and gives the dev team a lot more flexibility while still being able to be true and authentic with our audience. It's because tech development is a lot more complicated in this space to get to this level of play. So end of 2021, I'm looking forward to moving into the 0.5.0 era and expecting that to be a leaving behind of the beta tag. However, the future is still undetermined.
Indeed. So we're gonna the next question rounds around this area as well. It's from Jesus 12, Jesus 12 again. Please, anybody, if I say your name and it's incorrect, do correct me, and that way it'll feel more comfortable for all of us. What marketing efforts will happen after AtomicDEX 4.0 release? I think it's the 0.40 release to make KMD great again. Jay Charming says KMD is already great, and Jesus responds with, we all know that KMD has great tech, but I mean in a financial way, winky face. So who wants to handle that? What are your thoughts on that then?
We have actually one of our biz dev members just dropped in that comes to these meetings a lot and answers questions. Polly is here. I want to at least offer an opportunity to hand off the mic to hear if there's some talk to be had.
The aforementioned Jason, welcome. Muted.
Oh, I actually just got a message that his phone just died. Okay, so I'll take over this one. It's no big deal. So basically this question is when moon for KMD is like what I'm hearing, but in a really nice way. This is a really hard question to answer because as a base ethos, KMD, the community currency within the Komodo community, within the workshop here, we're not really focused on price action. I don't know if anybody knows a little bit of the story where I came from, but the thing that first attracted me to Komodo long time ago was that price action was pretty shunned in this space. And that was when I was first entering blockchain space. And anytime that I enter a new sector, the first thing that I look for is what project is focusing on tech and not making a big deal out of like their price action market shares. And that's who I plug into because they usually have the highest quality, just the highest quality value, like overall. They're usually conversation leaders. They're not always like the top tier, like the #1 blue chip, but they are always a project that is something you can really count on. And it doesn't matter what sector you're in. Thing I figured out after like years and years of this. So with that in mind, when moon for KMD is probably best answered by saying like when moon for crypto, because KMD has Komodo or KMD has something that a lot of projects don't have, and that is staying power at this point. Like we're in the league with Litecoin. KMD is never going away. So now it's just the question of when is the capitalization moment going to happen? And there's a lot of projects that can't boast that. Like there's many that may still like get dissolved and wash away. And we see that all the time. But for years and years, KMD is here and a rising tide lifts all ships. So that's kind of my answer there. And then I'll give the 10-second plug for like when moon actually. I would expect to see some happy people that are keeping their eyes on KMD during the first half of 2021 leading up to the major conference event, because we get to actually start talking about a major partnership that's been going on for the past year. And we haven't been allowed to talk about it, but maybe we can start talking about it now. So we're really looking forward to that one as a strong possibility.
All right. And it's good that you mentioned the capitalization of Komodo KMD. That makes a lot of sense in that way. And staying power.
It's a hard thing to answer.
Yeah, no, staying power is right, and in one way too, it's a very baffling the price action of KMD itself. It really is baffling, and there are a lot of different theories or ideas about why it's happening the way it's happening. But anyhow, I think going forward, it's nice to hear what you've just said, and let's see what happens. Let's you keep working hard, and it'll come. That's the expectation, I guess. All right, we're gonna move on. We still have a few more questions to answer. Question 4 is from Computer Genie. Is there any plan to make AtomicDEX BTC trades happen for quote unquote normal folks. At this minute, the minimum trade using BTC is $300.56. And Regnar adds to add to CG's question, would that be something like adding SegWit addresses, Lightning Network, simply lowering the minimum trade amount, or even a KBTC wrapped coin, which might be cool use of Komodo CCs, be a fast one DPAL conference swaps, etc. Confirmation. So okay, so yes, adding about the Komodo CCs, like talking there from Regnar, that's also very interesting. Who wants to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would like, I don't know for sure the whole situation, but I think, I mean, if possible, then those ranges should be updated. I know like the reason why they are there in the first place is because of the high fees in Bitcoin network, or possibly high fees in Bitcoin network, and because Atomic Swap requires like blockchain confirmations or like Bitcoin transactions, in other words, then otherwise the cut that would go from the swap to the network fees would be too high. So that's why they put like a limit, a minimum trade size. But then at the top of my head, I cannot say like if is it too high. So if it is, then maybe it could be adjusted so it's not that big. As I guess it also like affects then now that the Bitcoin price is higher, so that might play an effect into it. So my answer is that yes, if possible, it definitely should be made smaller so that you could not swap smaller amounts in USD.
Well, it does also seem like it's an issue based on the nature of BTC and atomic swaps. So that's also interesting how Regnar comes in to add possible solutions or ideas here. But does anybody have any thoughts about these ideas? I he talks about the cool use of Komodo CCs, or are we good with this and we move on?
Yeah, I think for me the basic answer takeaway for this is yes. Like this is stuff on the board. Like we want everyday normal folk to be able to use it. You don't have to make like a larger transaction. We have to find a way to like do it reasonably. Can't just like say come and do like a $1 swap and pay like be forced to pay like a very high fee that's equal to it, and then we get a flood of 100,000 users, and then suddenly everybody's complaining that like they can't trade like 1 sat without having to pay 10 sats because they don't even understand like the basic instructions of the network, which is part of the education that's like the educational challenges that are required when engaging with an audience that are using atomic swaps. So we're keeping, in that sense, Komodo is keeping with a more conservative approach. We're not trying to throw something out and then let people drown. Anybody's watching the DeFi scene and the craze for the AMM pools. It's dying down and it's very short-lived. This is the reasons that these conservative approaches work is, or I guess the proof that they work is that Komodo is still here and so many projects are just hopping on and melting away. Short answer is yes, we're after these things.
Okay, good. Yes, Komodo does have cool potential solutions for lots of issues in crypto. So we all look forward to seeing that play out. We're going to move on then.
I think you had a question that you listed.
I did, but before that, I just wanted to make sure we hit question 5 from Ragnar. Is another question from Ragnar. He gave a master coding solution as a JK. Good job. And actually, though, he says here, or Ragnar says here, actually, even with other solutions, I'll ask this standalone question. Any thoughts on including KBTC, Komodo wrapped Bitcoin, BTC, as an optional market / proof of concept?
Yes, this is one of the things that's on my use case, KMD use case study board. That's something that I mentioned at the stress test, is that for the first half or for most of 2021, I've gotten approval to plug myself into finding KMD use case studies. So how can we like be sure that we're plugged into the space, doing what other people are doing, making sure that like we're taking advantage of like what I would call low-hanging fruit opportunities and seeing what we can get plugged into there. And the wrapped solutions, both on Komodo and wrapped Komodo, like in other sections, are like both pretty high on my board. I'm super interested in this.
Nice. Yeah, you make a good point there in terms of it's like there are these different arenas being played in, different types of challenges or games you might look at them as, and Komodo has all these how do you say, all this equipment to play in these different games, and so it's cool to imagine and then hopefully now start moving into the direction of Komodo stepping into these different arenas and showing its capacity. Alrighty, so then we move on then to the sixth question. Question number 6. ejuliano there asking, any thoughts on ShapeShift recent news / statements? How does Komodo look to take advantage of these opportunities?
This would be a question from Polly. Like it's kind of like that legal angle. Myself, I don't have too much to comment. JC, do you know something meaningful to add here?
Go ahead. I'm going to actually hand it over to Polly. I see that.
Yeah,
see that
are you here, Polly? Can you hear us? And can we hear you? Okay, well,
Okay.
oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I had to pop on my computer or my phone died on me. So regarding shapeshifts, recent declaration that everything's okay because they're switching everything to a DEX. So it's a little bit different position than we're in. I'll explain. So the shapeshift solution is basically they're going to be aggregating, so they don't run any infrastructure. They don't. They're not doing any custodial work and stuff. So it's definitely good. It's good to see like a large player in the space basically come to the realization that they would be outside of regulatory purview. We're not 100% certain about that, and how it differs kind of from Komodo or AtomicDEX is that it has to do with the seed nodes. So currently, because they're aggregating just ETH DEXs, they're not routing any orders. So it's basically just like an interface, like a one-stop shop interface for the ETH DEX ecosystem. In AtomicDEX, currently, due to this beta phase, there are the team has been running a lot of these seed nodes, which basically relay orders. Now, it's not so much an issue for like trading like Bitcoin and Litecoin and stuff like that. However, with certain coins, it might be a regulatory issue because of that routing of the orders. We're not 100% sure, so we're trying to find out this about that. So the shapeshift news is positive. We just have to make 100% sure that it also applies to our system as well.
Thanks. Okay, so I hope that clears up. Anybody have any other thoughts on that, or we'll move on then? Okay, thanks a lot, Polycryptoblock, for that response. It's nice to hear from you. We're going to move to question 7. And if you have any ideas to throw in there, please do as well. Jump in. So question 7 from Ragnar is a question from Telegram, actually. Thanks, Ragnar. Awesome. It's from Usman in Telegram. And the question is, would it be possible to convert dust, tiny amounts of coins, in AtomicDEX for KMD? It would be a good use for KMD and would increase the use. Binance allows you to convert tiny amounts for their own Binance coin. A similar feature would be good for AtomicDEX. And at Audo, what's the status on offering AtomicDEX without the DEX, i.e. an official Komodo non-custodial wallet? So maybe that's 2 questions. But yeah, just curious about this converting of dust to KMD.
Yeah, I can pick it up if Auto doesn't have anything here.
Yeah, and then Auto, you can,
go
if you
ahead.
want to add about, after JC talks, you can talk about the question about status on offering AtomicDEX without the DEX.
Yeah, so we've got some really interesting and complicated challenges being an atomic swap protocol based decentralized exchange. One of those unique challenges is that because we're not holding everything, we can't just like issue IOUs and let people like sweep dust and then get them their like IOU in KMD or something like that. That doesn't mean that it's not possible, but it means that it's not really low-hanging fruit right now. So this is definitely something that I'm adding to my board and task list, like seeing this kind of question come out. It's already like kind of on my purview of like, can we talk about it? Like, can we figure something out? But I haven't been like plugged into this one too aggressively. So if one of the devs is already like after solution, I haven't really heard about it yet. I know that that it's something that's like super interesting to be pursued. But it's going to be an interesting implement.
Okay, then. And Auto,
That's the honest answer.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's what we want. We want the honest answers. So, Auto, do you want to talk about the AtomicDEX?
Yeah, I don't know any certain answers here. Like I think our business team, like P2I, who's I don't think is on the channel right now, but might know more. But basically, like I was on the PitchDeck presentation, we are looking to provide these white label wallets, or I guess in same capacity we already do, and you can be forking like the GitHub and so forth. So I mean, basically, I think it would be very easy to just make like just a wallet. Now I don't know, like I think from our side that the answer is like for the official AtomicDEX, the answer is still the same as it has been for the past months, that we are still kind of, before we do anything like big, we just wanna double check and ensure that everything from the legal side is cleared out, and then based on those conclusions, then we will make decisions that we can. So I guess like what would make sense the most is just that for whatever reason, like if you cannot be swapping, then the DEX tab is just disabled, or it could be turned off, like but you can use the AtomicDEX as a wallet. So I guess, I mean, to me that seems like the most the best approach, that there's just one, like we know, split to 2 apps, that just AtomicDEX, and then if you want, then you can join the DEX, and hopefully you can choose your DEX network. So, and then depending on the network, then the network operators might require you to do KIC, so they are compliant with their local regulations. So in this case, like you'll be joining the Komodo DEX network, and then there will be the KIC and so forth. So that's kind of the situation snapshot as we have been exploring it at this moment. But again, like all these things has to be like finalized and have any final info or like final answers to any of these, but that's basically like what we've been discussing so far last year and this year. And there's no real like there's no more conclusion as far as I know.
Okay, then. Thanks for that. 2021 really is looking good for Komodo, in my view, and from what it sounds like here today. We love the number 7 around here. So that was roughly 7 questions for this Thursday, January 7th of 2021. We're going to sign off here on the live stream, and then we're going to continue with a further hangout in the Discord. So join that if you're available and continue asking questions in chat. So we're going to say bye for now. I'm ejuliano. Thanks for listening. Delton,
everybody.
Audo, JC.
Yeah.
Thanks. And
Thanks for emceeing.
final shout out. We have prepared a marketing roadmap for this year, and we are looking to drop that next week. So stay tuned for that one.
And thanks to Polycrypto blog for stopping in and answering that question too. And we'll talk to everyone again next week. Is another Komodo platform Thursday Town Hall. Take care.